Welcome to D-Mop Garage. Well, you can see the shed's empty, and that only means one thing. There's another project coming. It's going to arrive pretty soon up the front, and then we've got the torturous down the steep driveway thing. You guys know all about that, trying to get it in here. We'll see how that goes. Let's go up to the top garage and see if it's arrived yet. It's a bit of an exciting one and a whole lot of work. And I'm supposed to still be getting that thing done for my wife. I think I'm in trouble. That will do. Righto guys, well, it's in the D-Mop headquarters. Man, have we got some work to do. What have I got myself in for? Let's have a bit of a look at this thing. I don't think that's gonna buff out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the floor's not supposed to be like that. Oh man. Now, yeah, the back's been mucked around with before. Now you guys would have remembered the roof chute of the panel van. So Josh owns that panel van. He owned this for a while and then sold it. So he did a little bit of work to it. We're going to continue. Unfortunately, we're going to have to take a few bits and pieces off because we've got to get the chassis straight. But realistically, there's not a lot that we're going to be able to save on this. Like these, they're pretty much cactus. That whole panel on the side there's cactus. I'm pretty sure even the arch, I don't know if we can save those arches. I kind of want to, but they look like they're pretty far gone, those rear arches. I don't know. But yeah, that's gone. So really the entire bed's going to have to be pretty much made from brand new. These rails here aren't correct, so we're going to swap them out to the right profile, which means that whole top section is going to have to come off. Bottom chassis looking all right, like all these. Obviously we need a transition hump. We need a separator from the fuel tank to the rear of the engine. Yeah, man, it's not looking great under there. In here is looking pretty rough. The floors are gone. Underneath's not fantastic either, I'm afraid. The front chassis's actually been separated just there from the rear. So that's going to all have to go back together again. And I think there is some rot in the actual chassis rails too, which I can see up there. That does not look good at all. Yeah, so this really, the more I look at it, the more this is going to be a complete chassis start up and rebuild because the roof's obviously caved in. We do have the front beam, but you can see here this is completely collapsed here. I mean, it's been hung on with a bit of duct tape there. But we're going to need a complete front, A pillars, B pillars, dog legs. I mean, the floors, there's a lot of metal that we've got to replace. I mean, look, you've got to look at the positives. It is a 54 barn door, and there's not many of these things around. So now the plan was to do it ratty. There's not really much ratty left, so I don't know. And here's Matt. Here he is, Mr. Upholsterer. So yeah, what's your thoughts, mate?
Holy Jesus.
Yeah, that's what I said too. Anyway, we'll continue in a minute. Righto, so what we're going to have to do, Matt's left, we're going to have to start stripping this thing. So I did a little bit more research, and this entire cab has dropped because this is supposed to be dead level. So, you know, the whole thing's got to come apart. There's no two ways about it. I put the jack under that corner and just lifted this up to get the roof level. And you can see from the front that the roof line now is about right where it needs to be. But yeah, I've also unpicked the front little panel. It's all got to come apart. I'm going to have to make a chassis table. At the moment, it's just obviously sitting on jack stands, and that's not going to be good enough because we're going to have to get this thing absolutely millimetre perfect. So next week I'll go and get some steel, and we'll have to just weld up a table in here on the floor and get it absolutely perfect, and then we can start mounting the chassis to it and then build it up from there. So quite a daunting task, but that's what we've got to do. So in order to get this thing apart, the only thing that's actually holding this cab to the rear is this bit of sheet metal here that's welded on there. So if I grind that off, the entire front's going to fall off. So I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to take the door off, and then once I take the door off, all I've got to do is cut here and on the other side, and the entire front is actually already off. So it's not even connected to the floor down there. So the entire front will come off, and then I can start removing all the floor and then removing the back. So yeah, this thing is going to be, it's going to look like a pancake very soon. All right, I'll set you guys up. We've got to get this door off, and I don't think those hinges and screws are going to want to play the game. So we'll see what happens here. Take that off. Okay. The front's off. Alright, well, you can see we've got to cut all this floor out. There's heaps of work to do. Let's keep going. All right, let's get this piece out. This is a little box. And apparently that's very rare, and it looks like it's in good condition, so we will be using that again, which is fantastic news. All right, we can start. Well, that's cactus. We'll get that off too. So fatigued. I'll just get the rest of this piece off, bring you back in. One more piece off. Let's keep going. Not as bad as I thought it was. That bulge is supposed to be there. I actually thought that was a big rust cavity, but it's supposed to be there for the left-hand drive steering box. That's good. A little bit of rot on the end here, but we can fix that. That's no problem. Right, we're going to get this back support off. Okay, time to remove the side panels. Righto guys, so we've just taken the back off and we'll see whether or not we can actually save these rear guards. Don't know. But look, all this stuff here is it's just too far gone to use it. I mean, we're going to need another divider there. I don't know, maybe I can pop them in the sandblaster, and it's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So I think I might have a spare one of those in the back shed, so I'll go and have a look. But yeah, she's starting to not look like anything anymore. We're stripping. There's a lot of junk to come off this, but I'm going to go and get some steel, make-up frame table, chassis table, and we can get this thing mounted to the table. And then I'll probably take that bottom half outside and sandblast it, I think. I can just do it out here and get that into some primer at least so it's ready to go. There's a little bit of cleanup work to do just in there on that top of that transition hump. And this is pretty much separated now. The front half is just sitting there. So I want to take these panels off because they need repairing. I can sandblast them. I reckon this one's probably savable. Maybe even that. Like, it'd be good if I could reuse them. What's not savable is this piece here. That's really that, which is the internal part inside there. You can see it's knackered all the way around, so that's going to have to be redone. So it probably means I'm going to have to take all of this off the frame as well. You can see the front here, it's rotted all the way through on both panels there, which is no good. The chassis rails aren't too bad. We just have to rebuild these ends. These parts here, like, that's pretty bad. This one's bad. That one's probably savable, that, I think. Yeah, that might be savable. And at least the pedal assembly's intact. Part's really hard to get, and that's intact. Apparently it's cast aluminium, so I'll try and be very, very careful taking that off. But in terms of the rails, the rest of the rails aren't too bad. I think I did see some rust underneath them, but we'll have to flip this section over before we do it. Anyway, I reckon that's probably, it doesn't look like a bloody single cab anymore, does it? That'll probably do it for this episode. I'm buggered, I'm going inside. I've got to start ordering panels. There's a lot of stuff to buy for this thing. So I'll catch you in the next episode. And thanks again for the new subscribers, and stay along for this journey. It should be a cool one. See ya.